the ankle?
It's progressing. Feel pretty optimistic about it. So, again, we'll just go through practice this week and see how it feels.
What do you need to see from it to play this week that either is the same as last week or maybe even different?
I'll just say the same as last week. Just be able to do what I did on Sunday. Go out there, feel healthy about it, feel like it doesn't hinder me a lot. So I feel like that's kind of where we're going with it.
In terms of hindering you, how much maybe did it, when you look back at the film and look back at in hindsight, how much did it hinder you?
Physically, maybe there at the very end. Obviously taking some pain stuff, and it was starting to wear off there at the end. But I think it was more mental than anything. I feel like I couldn't really get a lot into my throws at some points. Maybe that was just me overthinking it. But surely I didn't really feel much until late in the game.
And when you look at kind of the gravity of this game, does that weigh into it at all in terms of like where you stand? Like, feel like maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that. Do you say, maybe I don't play because of the gravity of it, or does that push you in a different direction?
Yeah, that's a tough, it's a tough question because you want to go out there and play with your guys. We've battled all year to get to this point, and you want to go out there and be able to, be able to play. But at the same time, you want to take a step back and see, hey, am I actually the best option? So it's a hard game to play there. So again, we're gonna practice this week, see how it feels, and then ultimately we'll make that decision late in the week.
Could you pinpoint when you aggravated it in the game?
No, not really. I want to say I started feeling it a little bit late in the third, which is funny because I actually had that scramble. Yeah, that's what happens when you have big 300-pound men getting paid millions of dollars to hit you, and you can feel them breathing down your neck. You kind of run a little faster, but yeah, specifically on that play, I didn't really feel it because I was, the adrenaline was going. But yeah, you could start to feel it there late in the game.
And anything? Can you take anything from the previous meeting with them that worked for the offense with Desmond out there?
Yeah, guys went out there and made really good plays. Obviously in the first half it was pretty even, and then Jesse made that really good, pick six that kind of sparked us, and the offense kind of ran with it. Obviously we ran the ball well. We ran for over 200 that game. I'm sure they'll be geeked up for that. But again, I think Drake made a lot of good plays that game. Everyone stepped up. Offensive line played really well. So again, we're gonna have our hands full going to New Orleans.
And then just the playoffs and knowing you need some help. What's the mindset as you all are preparing? So you got to do your part on this end and then get some help.
Yeah, we're not really looking at the whole Carolina-Tampa thing right now because, quite honestly, if we go to New Orleans and we lose, it doesn't matter. So, again, our main focus is going down and beat New Orleans, and hopefully when we end the game, we see something that we want to see.
Anything about the game being on turf and or inside that affects your ankle one way or the other? Like it would be easier to come back in that situation, harder? Makes no difference.
Yeah, I don't know, because this is the first time I've really had a foot injury like this, and I've never really gone on the turf or anything. We're practicing today on turf, so we'll see. But yeah, it's better than being in 30-degree weather and snowing for sure.
I forget, and maybe I'm wrong here. You've been in a similar situation team-wise.
As in trying to get in the playoffs?
Yeah, like in the last week of the year, right?
Yeah, so it was actually 2020 when I got called to Washington. Alex Smith, we were playing the Eagles last week of the season. We needed to win, and we needed, I think, the Giants. No, we just needed to win. I remember the Giants needed us to lose, and in the second half, Philly pulled all their starters and put the backups in. And I remember because Stahl, our strength coach, was at the Giants at the time, and he talks about that. He's like, we were really pissed off at Philly, which makes sense. But yeah, I would hate to be on that side of it. So I'm just glad that this game still matters for us. Hopefully, again, Carolina does their thing.
A lot of guys on this team have not been in any type of situation like that before. You talk to them about it this week?
No, I don't, because again, our our biggest thing is we got to go out there and win. So it doesn't change what we need to do or how to look at it. We got to go out there and win. So I think that's what everyone's focused on.
Art was saying something similar, that this team is focused. What is it about the character of the guys in the locker room that gives you that focus?
I think it starts with Art. He loves football. He loves to coach. And again, like I've said before, the last previous weeks, if we were 2-14, I think he would still have the same energy. It's special to be in the NFL. I mean, you have this. It doesn't last forever. You don't know how many games you're going to play or games you're going to get to coach. So, every time you come to work, it's a special opportunity. Try to make the best of it. Try to have fun with it, because again, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, what do you see studying the Saints defense? I know they got the two backers that kind of anchor everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good defense. Those two guys at linebacker, they've been together for a good number of years now. Cameron Jordan's a good player. You got Granderson at the other end, who's a really good player. They got some vets in the back. Tyrann Mathieu, some good corners. So again, we're gonna have our hands full offensively, and hopefully we can just do the same things that we did, the previous go round.
Do players on a team that's fighting for a playoff spot feel the pressure maybe of potentially even just the outcome of what it means for the coaching staff as well? I mean, do you feel more pressure in going into the final?
Yeah, you could maybe, but I would tell those guys you're focused on the wrong things. If you're focused on that, you're not focused on the game. So again, we feel like if we go out there and just do our jobs, what we can control, everything else will take care of itself in our favor. But I feel like if you're focused on those things, you're not focused on the job at hand. So that's kind of my message to those guys.
Hey, how do you explain their team's been able to run on them, but they've been keeping people out of the end zone, 6 and scoring?
Yeah, so you see that with a number of teams on defense. They're a bend don't break defense. What you like to call it. They're going to give up yards, but when you get in the red zone, they're going to make it really hard to score 6. And any defense will say, hey, we'll give up 400 yards, but if you're kicking field goals, that's fine. So again, that's going to be the challenge. Hopefully, again, we can move the ball, but when we get in the red zone, we got to punch it in.
Good. As you all are prepared for the Saints, how's Derek Carr showing up? I'm just seeing the numbers, 73% over the last 4 games.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, even when we played him the first time, did a really good job. He's probably, one of the top quarterbacks that we played this year. Really good guy. He understands how to read. He knows how to move you with his eyes. He can make all the throws. So, you're going up against a real NFL quarterback this week.
And how much, that last game, that 92-yard interception, that was kind of got y'all started. And he talked about, Jesse jumping his route or whatever. But how do you all try to disguise things so he doesn't know what you all are doing back there?
Well, the biggest thing is we got to make sure we don't give him any tips, and understanding what his reads are and stuff like that, and go out and play our game and not try to, we're trying to go against Carr because they got 3 good wide receivers. They got 2 good running backs. The offensive line is good. But the biggest thing we got to do is make sure we don't give up explosive plays. And that's what we have to do on our side. Get the ball, don't give up explosive plays. You get yourself a chance to win.
We might not, depending on how this weekend goes, we might not see you again until next season. When you look back at the vast majority of this year, why was there struggles with consistency, you think, throughout?
Well, I think, anytime you put in anything new and you're going through it and you're kind of trying to go through the season and look like that, it's always going to be like that. If we'd have came in year 1 and we had the best defense in the league, it'd be like, man, everybody wants that. And everybody wants the easy road. I don't think it's going to be easy. We look at our players. We lost our best, I think personally, our best pass rusher in Grady. And when you do that, then somebody else has to step up. So we've actually played with a lot of young guys, understanding what their job is. And the good thing about it, we're still in the hunt. And you got a chance to, this remind me a lot of when I was in Seattle. I went over there with Pete Carroll in 2010. And lo and behold, they gave us a chance to get in. And we played the Super Bowl defending champs, and we beat them there in Seattle. And all you need is a chance. And our team wasn't really, really great with numbers, but they gave us a chance to get in. So to me, when I look at that, it's like, okay, that was our first year in Seattle. It's our first year here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you improving? Are you doing the things you need to do to keep adding to that? And you can see what Seattle did. They added to players, and all of a sudden they was in 2 Super Bowls themselves.
Well, following that, I mean, there are questions about Arthur's job that have been pretty prevalent the last few weeks. What would be your argument to why they should stay the course?
Well, I mean, you look at it and you can kind of say, control what you can control. So if we win the game this weekend and then other things happen and then you get into the playoffs, it's going to be the same thing. You won the game. And then now what decision do you make? So to me, I look at it and say, hey, control what you can control. Don't worry about external factors. And just go out and win the football game on Sunday. And then that's the only thing you control. And everything else happens after that. So to me, I look at it, again, I don't want to look at all the other stuff. Just go out there and control what you can control.
What have your impressions been of A.J. through almost a complete regular season now?
Yeah, well, a good cover corner, understand what he's doing. We matched him up on a lot of the top receivers this year. How could he hang? What are you doing with those guys? And again, that's the biggest thing that, you look back and say, okay, what can we get better at, keep getting better at when you start showing him film of what he did this year in the new system of what we're trying to get him to do. Because, again, if you get matched up on the best receivers, the ball will come your way a lot. So you got to be prepared for it mentally. And I think that's the thing that, he is in that class. I think he's ready to take that next step.
What are the things that he needs to do to take that next step?
Well, again, when I go back and I look at the beginning of the season, I always evaluate guys. And, like, when we got ready, he almost had an interception playing man-to-man. Great man-to-man guys don't get a lot of picks. So I think guys that's kind of overblown. When you're off corner, you can reach, you're going to get a lot of interceptions. But you're a man-to-man guy, you get a lot of PBUs, you'll get a lot of interceptions unless you're lucky. And then, that's the thing that I talked to him about. Don't get discouraged because you don't get the interceptions. Get discouraged when you're standing next to a guy and they catch the ball on you, because that's when you know that you're not getting the PBUs. It's time to make those plays. So, I mean, every corner, like I had Jair, I had Xavier, those guys, they didn't get a lot of interceptions, but they denied the football a lot. And when I put you on the best guy, guess what? I expect you to win on the best guy. And if the ball comes your way, knock the ball down. And if you get an interception, that's a plus. Because a lot of guys want to get an interception, then you misjudge the ball, and then all of a sudden they catch it on you. So it's little things like that you try to talk to him about what's realistic and what's unrealistic in a man-to-man corner. Because a lot of man-to-man corners, if you look around the league, they don't get picks, but they don't get the ball caught on them either.
Your focus is DBs, but Zach Harrison's really seems like shown stuff in the last one. What is it that you've seen this grow?
Well, one of the things that we kind of got a chance to talk to the guys, and we let them get up and talk in front of the room. That's the thing that we do with our players. And people may not know that Zach Harrison actually ran a 10.700 meters when he was in high school. So that's the reason why he's fast. It's just that, that body caught up with the 10.7, but he's still fast. He's long. He's getting better. You growing up in Columbus, when you grew up in the same place and you go to Ohio State, a lot more stuff that's on you, tougher. So when you look at a kid like that, he got better this year, and he's going to continue to get better. We got some guys doing the same thing. Clark's going to get better. DeMarco's going to get better. You can see that those young guys are actually getting better.
Where have you seen that progress from him?
Well, just from not playing the first 6 or 7 games. Think about it. This guy didn't have a snap before game 6. And then all of a sudden got a chance to play, started competing, and really got a really good chance to play against the Jets. And hadn't really had a lot of reps, so he played 60-something plays that game, did a really good job. And now you're looking for consistency out of him. What's your consistency? What are you doing that's going to keep you climbing and getting better? And you could see it. He's actually doing that. He's practicing hard, doing the things he needs to do in the meeting room. So that's where he's going to get better. It's not going to be, I made a lot of interceptions. You're going to get better from year 1 to year 2 because you're going to understand the defense and what the offense is trying to do to you.
What do you tell him? Be like, hey, listen, you're going to go off in the offseason. What do you tell him? Hey, you need to really focus on X if you want to take that step.
Well, the first thing I always tell young guys is, what are you doing in the off season? Are you going and sitting around for 4 months and not really working on your body or anything like that? But if you serious about the job, you're going to be take a month off, do what you want to do, and then gradually start building it back up. And then get your technique down, do your footwork drills, do all those. I tell them go play basketball because that's the best thing for a defensive back. If you can cut in the tight spaces, you can play corner. So, do something fun, make sure they understand that. But when you come back in April, whenever you're supposed to be back, you should be in a position where you shouldn't have to think about the defense. Now I'm going to focus totally on me and what I'm going to do to keep building. So over the next 3 or 4 months, he's going to make the biggest jump because we'll show him cut-ups of what he did last year. And he won't make those same mistakes. And then all of a sudden, he'll start learning how to make plays other than I'm out here in a survival mode. That's kind of what young guys go through. Everybody did. I went through it. So, everybody's go through it. If you find a guy that comes out as a rookie and he's really good, he's really, really good.
Have you always told dudes to play basketball in the offseason?
Of course. If you're a defensive back, and I know what if he gets injured? Well, what if he doesn't? And what if he plays and gets his footwork done and all the little drills that he's supposed to do and he's covering and you get these receivers that know how to get in and out of cut? Well, that's what you're doing when you're playing basketball. You learn how to play with 4 other guys. You learn how to keep, vision on your man while you're looking at the backboard. You start learning how to rebound. And all those things start helping you intercept the football. Because now you're not just focused on one guy, because in basketball, you just don't cover one guy. You actually cover everyone around you. And then you understand how do I get the rebound? If the ball is coming off this area, I'm going to go this way. So that helps you a lot on getting interceptions. It's the same thing.
Was that a conversation that, before every game, or was that kind of a special instance when he talked to you guys before the Colts game?
It's pretty much kind of like happened out of nowhere. We weren't expecting him, to come in and talk. But we really do appreciate that. And like I said, just moving forward now, that's like the mindset in here. Just play free, man. Just put it all on the line, and whatever happens.
So bouncing off, from obviously the Bears game, are you trying to get back to that Colts message that he sent y'all before that game?
I wouldn't necessarily say that. The objective is to win. So whatever we got to do to win, that's the mindset and the mentality that we have going forward, playing against the Saints. So we only can control what we can control. And that's starting now with preparation and just getting ready to go to work against the Saints.
And Clay was also saying just playing, having fun and just getting back to having fun. It seems like, not even in the locker room, but in practice, you guys are joking around. You're still getting back to that fun football. Would you say that's pretty much in line?
Yes, I'll say that. Just the main focus is having energy. Energy is contagious. And, once you're out there having fun, you're able to make plays, fly around, and good things happen, when you have energy. So that's the main message. Just coming in, just don't be flat. Just have energy, fly around, play fast, and have fun. Thank you.
Off the loss, what I really expect.
Yeah.
How are you guys kind of trying to keep things light, trying to keep things fun going into a must-win game?
I just think there's belief in each other, and I think there's energy in the building because we know the opportunity that we have in front of us, and things we haven't gone our way all the time throughout the season, and we understand that. But I think it just speaks to the mindset of the team that we have belief in each other, belief in what the opportunity we have, and then just a love for one another. And I think the culture that we have in this building is probably about as good as you can find anywhere in the league, and super grateful for that.
Division game, and the season with a division game, that means a lot. What's that feel like?
It's incredible. Falcon Saints is means everything, and then the fact that it was Week 18, I think we all had a sense when the schedule came out earlier in the year that this game was going to really mean something, and just really looking forward to the opportunity to play in that.
Doesn't it feel like it kind of comes down to this game? I feel like you guys always play the Saints these last couple weeks of the season. It always kind of comes down to that. Does it feel like that for you guys?
Yeah, it really does, and just the opportunity to play them. Just to be a part of the rivalry, one, but then just the respect that we have for their front and their defense. It's always a fun physical game to play in, and then the fact that it's in a moment like this is a great opportunity.
How do you guys get back to the Colts game? It seemed like you guys were playing a little more free, playing a little more fun. Maybe you tried to do that last week and didn't work out that way, but how do you kind of get back to that?
I think that the best thing with the Colts was complementary team football. We were moving the ball, not making mistakes. Defense was giving us short field, stuff like that. And I think that's what you talk about when you're in a rhythm and everybody working for each other. And so we just know that we have to prepare our best so that we can get into that rhythm. The good thing is that we always bring energy every single week, and looking forward to that, knowing that it's going to be a great environment in New Orleans.
Chris, can you talk about the environment in particular in New Orleans and what it takes to kind of succeed
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL, I think, and probably one of the best venues. And so, as a competitor, you look forward to those opportunities. And the fact that now that not only are you going to play in a great environment, but it is a big moment in our season is extra special. And so, just as a competitor, you're really looking forward to it.
How's preparation this week different going over to the Saints?
I mean, yeah, we just know that it's a playoff type game for both teams, and so they're going to bring their best. So we got to bring our best, and we got to bring that same intensity that we brought when they came in to our stadium. So it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fun one down in New Orleans, and we got to get the dub.
I think a lot of people have noticed too, you guys are having fun, and that translates. You can see it in practice, you can see it in the locker room. How much do you feel like that's going to make a difference on Sunday?
I mean, at the end of the day, football's a game, and so you got to have fun while you play it, and you got to play out there with fast, with energy, and that just kind of creates good things on both sides of the ball. Special teams, offense, defense are all playing with energy and juice. So that's something that we got to bring to the field.
How tough is it? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, Zach, I was talking to Bud. He said, hey, the pass rush will be key against Derek Carr this week. What are y'all sensing that you all got to do in the pass rush part of the game?
Yeah, most definitely. We got to make him uncomfortable. He's a good quarterback when he can stand there and go through his reads, but we got to make him uncomfortable in the pocket, and we got to get a few hits on him for sure.
How much did you play last time? It was 24-9, so the game the win.
Like how many snaps?
Yeah.
I have no idea. A decent amount, I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you got your feet wet in that.
Yeah.
What they're gonna try to do.
Yeah.
And then what's the challenge when Taysom Hill gets in the game?
I mean, yeah, no, he's an electric athlete. He really does it all. Blocks, catches, runs the ball. So, got to be a guy that we know where he's on the field at all times. And when he goes in the game, we got to kind of know what kind of plays we get with him in the game and just kind of execute the defenses to stop it.
It's so tough to win on the road in this league. They've got everything on the line as well, and it's always loud in that building. What kind of environment are you expecting? I
mean, I'm expecting, an electric environment, New Orleans. We got great history, great fans, so it'll be a fun one for sure.
At the same time, you guys have played some of your best games this year against the best competition. You're 5-3 against teams that are 500 or better. Why is that? Does those big games bring out the best in you guys?
I mean, honestly, I don't really know, but all I know is we got to go beat the Saints.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you.